Tell me where you would rather be. UK. It's been a while since I even updated any trades. I don't think I've done any updates or any clips for this week as far as trades go, which is unfortunate. Just took my fifth trade this week today during London session. Another banger. So we're going to go through that right now. Here we are, guys. This is my journal. What it's looking like so far for the week. It's currently Thursday. Now let's quickly break down the last 4 trades that I took. Took some buy scalps here for 32.37s on Monday New York session for 90 pips. Pretty risky trade, wasn't the highest probability setup, but we did get our signatures and confirmations that I wanted to see to get into the trade. So that was a quick scalp, our first trade of the week during New York session. That put us up 1 to 3R to start the week. Then we move on to the second trade here. As you can see, we took post London Open buys 32.60s, I believe. Now this was a pretty shit trade, I'm not gonna lie. Price was pretty high at 32.60s. Had pushed all the way from the 32.37s and well below the 32.37s, like the 32.30s since Asian session, and we were just trying to capitalize on the continue of the trend. Didn't really get a double bottom or any, well, we had the breaker structure, but we didn't get the double bottom. Didn't get all the confirmations that we really wanted to see. There was no intraday AOI really. If it would have been much better had we actually pulled back to the 32.40s and then created a double bottom, shifted back bullish, and then continued back above the 32.50s. But at 32.60s, price was very high, and yeah, as you can see, the trade failed as price had already pushed so much, and it was just losing momentum at that point, and price only just ranged after that anyway, so there wasn't really much activity during London session on Tuesday, so that was an L. Then we took a second trade on Tuesday New York session. This was actually a very, very good trade, and it was our first really good trade since the start of the week, to be honest. So we got New York session post London close buys at 32.50s again. We got the double bottom, as you can see, after London close, the breaker structure, even got the retest of the key level, and we continued up. Everything was looking good. We were sitting at 32.58s pretty much, just under 80 pips in profit, and then price reverses back to the entry and eventually stops us out later in that day, just before the daily close. So unfortunately this was a loss. I did push stop loss to break even, so we did get stopped out at break even, but I still consider this a loss because we didn't hit TP, unfortunately, although we came very, very close. I think it was only like 12 pips away from TP, which is very unfortunate. This shit happens sometimes. If I did have a tighter stop, which I could have got away without having a tighter stop in this instance, as even with 25 pips it would have been below this like slight bit of structure here, but we didn't use 25 pips, we used 30 instead, which means I wanted that 90 pips at least. Didn't get the 90 pips, we got well over 75 though, so yeah, it would have been a winner had I have 25 pips, but unfortunately a loss. We didn't actually lose money because it was a break-even trade. Now let's move on to the fourth trade, yesterday's trade, London session open, well, post London session open. So yeah, we did have the double bottom and the breaker structure above the 32.30s before London Open actually. Then we came back down to attempt to break these lows here, obviously projected, reversed, and confirmed another breaker structure, as you can see here, around the 32.30s, and we obviously pushed back above the 32.30s after London Open. Retested it perfectly, giving us an entry to continue towards the 32.39s. We which we did hit, and that gave us a 1 to 3. Our second win of the week. As you can see here, this is the trade that I just took during London session. We're still in London session right now. The 31-38 buys post London session open on the double bottom, slight like intraday double bottom slash lower time frame double bottom, and I called it out in my Telegram. We capitalized on those buys for 90 pips, and they even ran on, I think, for 300 pips in total. So a very good trade. 31-38 buys on Thursday the 15th of May. We capitalized on price filling this range between the 32.38s and the 32.53s, and we went on above the 32.53s as well, despite us securing majority of the position before that, actually at 90 pips. Sorry, we had our TP at 90 pips and our stop loss at 30 pips for 1 to 3. And that is the last trade we have taken. So there we go, bros. So far this week we have took 5 trades, 3 wins and 2 losses. 1 to 7 ish, around that area total in profit for this week. Awesome trade taken today. Like I said, we're going to be waiting for all the data to drop during New York session today. Just wanted to hit you guys with a quick update, since I've been dark most of this week, just trying to enjoy Bali and live a little bit of life, and obviously get fucking sunburnt like this, look like an idiot. Hopefully we can go back to normal soon and not have a fucking red face. But yeah guys, I'll catch you guys later soon when we take the next trade. Yo guys, good morning, another day. It's currently Friday, so the end of the week. Just do a quick update. We just had the Asian session open right now. Obviously, as you can see, our trade from yesterday ran on monumentally and ended up peaking at 32.50s again. Our entry was at 31.38. Price literally closed at the highs, so we had no wick created on the daily, as you can see here. Obviously, the new daily candle created a wick now. It's going to be interesting to see how this daily candle closes. Yeah, so price is too high now for me to take any buys, so I'll just be sitting on my hands. I don't believe there's any news today either. Let's just have a quick check. Oh wait, there is. We got building permits. So this is the data for New York session. Last New York session we had a bunch of mixed reports. As you can see, we had a ton of reports. Ended up being a mixed outcome, and plus price had already been so high at that point. But today, building permits, housing starts, and import and export prices with consumer sentiment prelim. Imagine if we get high reports like for the housing data, it's going to be optimistic for USD. But if we get low reports, we will continue to fuel the gold buys, I'm assuming. But yeah, not really major reports. We had the major reports out of the way with inflation rate, PPI, jobs data, stuff like that. And plus it's the tail end of the week, and obviously based on pricing, setups aren't looking very good right now, so I think I'll be done for the week. So that pretty much does it. So over the last 3 weeks we've took 9 wins and quite a lot of losses. We took 6 losses and like 1 break even pretty much. 21R for the month of May. 21 times my risk, which is a pretty good result to be sitting at so far. Like I said, we still got 2 weeks left in May. So yo guys, it is Saturday now, so that means another week concluded. I didn't take another trade after I last talked to you guys, but we're going to go through a trade that I actually missed. Obviously the weekly candle has closed now, so we can get prepped for a brand new week. But yeah, I just wanted to include this trade in this video because it still is a very valid trade and ended up being a winner. But I didn't take it because I had already took 5 trades for that week, and it was in the last final session of the week, and I didn't really want to hop back in another trade. But I kind of wish I did in hindsight. But anyway, we're going to go through it right now. So this trade did take place New York session Friday, towards the end of the week, towards the end of the daily candle, post London close, gold buys. As you can see here, we didn't take, but there was an opportunity for 31.75 buys post London close. Now, we had a low created leading up to New York session. Here on the intraday, you can see price made a new low, but if you look to the left, you can see here first leg where we first rejected the 31.50s AOY, intraday AOY, made a new high. We shifted back bullish on the intraday when we made this new high, and then we pulled back towards the previous lows at 31.50s to make new lows here, which also established, like I said, the second leg of the intraday double bottom. So on the 1 minute leading into 10 a.m. Eastern and post London close, we had a shift back bullish on the lower time frames as well, kind of creating this like minor support level where price had retested multiple times, and then finally after 10 a.m. Eastern we actually made a new low. And now this is what put me off. This is what put me off taking this trade, was the fact that we violated these lows. I didn't really like that. If we had rejected massively here and then reversed, I wouldn't have felt so bothered about that. But because it made a new low and it actually closed below it, it put me off a little bit, and that's why I didn't decide to take these trades. Also, I didn't want to force a trade towards the end of the week after we'd already took 5 trades and we were already really profitable for the week. So yeah, and because of that, it really turned me off. If this didn't happen, I would have had no problem taking these buys at all. But anyway, it still kind of created a double bottom on the lower time frames despite this break of the lows, and obviously it wasn't breaking these major lows here, so we still had that overall like kind of minor intraday double bottom forming. But yeah, we had the breaker structure on the lower time frame. Obviously the intraday AOY had been tapped into. We had that intraday double bottom kind of forming as well, showing us exhaustion on the intraday time frame, which is exactly what we wanted, to continue buying and know that the sellers are pretty much done now. We held that structure and then we continued back above the 31.75 key level nicely with bullish structure right after London close. And after that London close, price just went on so bullish and hit our hypothetical TP at 31.84s, snagging a nice 90 pips if you did take this trade. So it was a very good trade despite the lows getting violated here, but in reality it isn't, because of all the other confirmations. It's like a minor counter confluence, you could say. Obviously it makes it slightly lower probability. In my opinion, this is still a high probability trade because we had all those confirmations that I just listed right there. So it was a very, very good trade. To be honest, I'm quite kicking myself for not taking it, but I've made the conscious decision to not take it. So this isn't part of the trades that I took over the week. I still only took 5 trades, 3 wins, 2 losses. If I did take this trade, I would have took 4 wins and 2 losses for the week. So it would have been nice to get an extra 1 to 3 R added to the week just before the daily candle close. Just to make a point that I did not take this trade, although I should have took this trade realistically. But yeah, but that was the reason why I didn't take the trade, because we made these lows here. So yeah guys, that's it. Weekly recap done. Now on to next week. God bless. I'll catch you guys later.